10 out of 10. Fried chicken is great on its own, but it's more fun with a sauce. If you love cane sauce, here's how you can make a version of your own at home. Start with some mayo, a little bit of ketchup, a few dashes of Worcestershire, a little bit of garlic salt, or be fancy and add in some fresh garlic. I'm adding a little smoked paprika, but you could do some cayenne for a little heat or even some hot sauce. And don't skimp on the black pepper. Okay, I'm gonna mix it up. Simple as that. If you're a fan of chicken and waffles, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna start by melting some butter and add in some maple syrup. Just a dash of cinnamon and a pinch of salt. It's that sweet flavor of chicken and waffles without needing to pull out a waffle iron. If you're looking for sweet and heat, this one's for you. I'm gonna heat up just a little bit of honey over low heat, add those peppers and the seeds for heat. You can also use cayenne or crushed red chili flake. When it starts to bubble, just let it steep for a few minutes and then turn the heat off and let it cool slightly. These are great for snacking, used as a topping or condiment, and a tiny splash of apple cider vinegar. 3 quick sauces to enhance your fried chicken. Today I want to show you how to make your own DIY mayo, and it's surprisingly, really, and my favorite word, it's easy. It's so easy, it's so simple. I guarantee you probably have everything on hand you need to make it. So I'm gonna start off with some olive oil, good quality olive oil, especially if you want to make a flavorful mayo. The ratio is about 1 cup of oil to 1 egg. We'll put our egg right inside. Now we just need a little acid. That's gonna be a little lemon juice, about a teaspoon, and white vinegar. You can use just lemon juice, just vinegar, but this is the base you wanna go with. And next, just a little bit of salt for flavor. So what helps is just to pulse it in the beginning, and you can see on the bottom it's already emulsifying, and then you'll just move that immersion blender up and down until everything's combined. But this literally took seconds. This is mayo, just like that. Now you can add any kind of flavor enhancers to this. Some good flavor enhancements are garlic, paprika, you do some black pepper in here. Just flavor up your mayo however you'd like. This olive oil is really spicy, really flavorful. If you want a more neutral mayo, you can use avocado oil, vegetable oil, but if you want a lot of richness, a lot of flavor, go ahead and use an olive oil. And what I love, so easy to make, all the ingredients in one jar, measured up to the line indicators. This ball jar has cup measurements on the side. And storage is that easy. Mayo, super easy, super delicious, and make it super fresh. All right, who put this empty jar back in the refrigerator? This isn't trash, I see potential. When there's a little left in the jar, don't just jump to tossing it out. Let's turn this into a delicious peanut sauce. A little soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, give a good squeeze to a lime. Bonus points if you use the zest. I'm gonna give it a good shake to loosen up that peanut butter. The goal, use up all that peanut butter. Scrape all the sides. Grate in some garlic and ginger if you have it on hand. And a touch of sesame oil. And just like that, we've got a sauce you can pour over noodles. Mix that all up. Rice noodles, ramen noodles, anything goes here. Something tasty and no peanut butter wasted. Stop! Don't pour this down the drain. It's good stuff. Put pickle juice to good use. Leftover pickle brine makes a great tenderizer. That pickle juice is packed with flavor and that acidity for tenderizing. Or use it for a ranch style dressing. And I love the pickle brines with garlic and herbs and spices. I'm gonna fish all that out of there, dice this up, some of the juice, sour cream, a glob of mayo. For a lighter alternative, replace both with Greek yogurt. Onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, fresh or dried herbs like dill or parsley. This is a bonus, but buttermilk adds great flavor. Give everything a good mix. Give it a taste and add additional salt if needed, but that brine's pretty salty. Use that leftover juice to make more pickles. I'm using some carrot ribbons and cucumber, but you can use any hearty vegetable like peppers, onions, or even cauliflower. Pour on that brine. Give this a day or two in the fridge and you'll have a batch of quick pickles. And all pickle brines can work, from jalapenos to pepperoncinis. And there's still more ways to put that juice to use. Everyone knows guac is extra. Yeah, extra expensive. Here's how to make better, affordable guacamole. When you purchase avocados, get the small ones. Those are gonna be less expensive. Guacamole is best fresh and made in small portions. What I do is make a pico de gallo first. That already looks fresh and delicious, and this will keep in the fridge for a few days. Leftover guacamole turns brown real quickly, so make it 1 avocado at a time. Give these a quick mash. Now, just a spoonful of that pico in there, salt, and my favorite part, lime. And now we mix. At your grocery store, look for fresh made chips. Those are usually more affordable and they're gonna taste way better. Less than $1, this guac is extra. We're gonna make our very own yellow mustard. So I'm just starting with some water and some apple cider vinegar. You can use white distilled vinegar. I'm gonna let this start simmering. Nothing to see here. This is the same pan that was here before. I did a quick pan swap that works a little bit better on this burner. We're gonna go ahead and mix in the rest of our ingredients. Put in our mustard powder, a little turmeric for extra color, some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic even, just grate it down. Give that a mix. It's starting to look like traditional mustard. So this just needs to reduce and thicken on low. Make sure you get all the lumps of the mustard powder out. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt. You wanna keep that heat pretty low as it reduces. Once this is thick, let it cool, and then we have our mustard made. And with any recipe, if you wanna change up the consistency, maybe it's got a little too thick, reduce down a little too much, just add a splash of water, mix it up, and you'll be good to go. You know that fancy sauce you get in restaurants, aioli? Well, it doesn't have to be that fancy. By using plain mayonnaise and adding flavors, you can make your own fancy spiced up sauces at home. A standard go-to recipe just uses lemon and garlic. Little lemon zest, that's the best part of the lemon, I think. Garlic, you can use a microplane or finely mince it. Just a little juice and season that up. A little bit of pepper. Easy aioli is really flexible. You can make as little or as much as you want. I wish I had a little tiny baby whisk. Fresh herbs also work great in aioli. I'm gonna finely dice all this up, but you could use a chopper or a blender to combine this into a smooth sauce. Just add those herbs. I love capers. See, fancy, a little briny, a little salty. This is a great way to use up some extra ingredients you have in the fridge. Now that's packed full of flavor. Different seasonings and spice blends also work perfect. The trick is to toast those spices in a dry skillet over low heat until fragrant. This is curry powder. Other spice blends will work really well. I also like smoked paprika. Flavorful aiolis pair well with seafood, chicken, and a variety of vegetables. As a spread on sandwiches or perfect for dipping. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of regular mayo, but once you do this to it, amazing. If you're a fan of gooey, creamy cheese sauces, this is the one secret you need. I have my favorite ingredient, baking soda. I'm just gonna do 5 teaspoons of this. And then you need a citric acid powder. So I'm gonna do 4 of these in with the baking soda. Citric acid is something you may not notice or may not have, but you can easily find it in grocery stores. And citric acid is very sour, very tangy. The baking soda neutralizes that. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of this in this liquid, and we should see the chemical reaction happening. Just be careful, make sure you have a large enough pot, but just give that a stir. As the bubbles subside, all that you're gonna be left with in your liquid is sodium citrate. If you can't find citric acid, just juice up a lime, add some baking soda to it. Just slow, gentle melting will give you the best results. One thing that's common with cheese sauces too is they seize up. The sodium citrate really helps that process. We don't have clumps of cheese not combining with the liquid. Now that is a gooey, creamy cheese sauce.
Store-bought hummus could be super overpriced and filled with unnecessary preservatives. Let's make creamy and delicious hummus in just 5 minutes. You're going to need garbanzo beans, garlic, tahini, lemon juice, olive oil, salt, and a little bit of water. We're going to begin by crushing 2 cloves of garlic in the food processor and add in just a little bit of salt. Next, we're gonna add 1 can of garbanzo beans, preferably organic. Then you're gonna add 1/4 cup of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of water. Now let's blend this until it's really smooth and there's no chunks. Let's add 1/3 cup of tahini, add 1 teaspoon of salt, and lastly, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in gradually as it's blending. So our hummus is ready, and I'm gonna show you how to traditionally plate it. Let's start by smoothing it out with a spoon. Grab your fork and lightly dip it into your hummus. Press it into some paprika and make this design all around. And always top it off with some olive oil. You can garnish it with some parsley or fresh mint. And there you have it, homemade hummus. This will last in your refrigerator for about a week.
You want an easy upgrade for your butter? This is how to make it yourself. Just mixing up some heavy cream. Locked and loaded, ready to run. You can churn your own butter right in a stand mixer. This also works with a blender, food processor, or shake it up in a mason jar. At this point, it's basically whipped cream. We need to go beyond. If you're making a big batch, put a cover on it. Prevent those splatters. How exciting. If you've never made homemade butter, this is quite the journey. We're getting wet, we're getting wet. We're basically there. The butter has separated from the buttermilk. I'm gonna let this go a second longer. Definitely use the cover. This gets messy. This is amazing. How cool. This really is so simple. 1 ingredient and a little bit of time. Almost done. I'm just gonna strain this through some cheesecloth. Butter and buttermilk. You can save this for your other recipes. My own butter. I feel so proud, so accomplished. At this point, you can salt it, season it, however you like. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. With homemade, you'll get a fresh, more robust flavor. Better butter deserves better bread. It's soft, creamy, fresh. I prefer to add a little salt to the butter as I use it. I can't believe it's butter. Ooh, it's so rich. Okay, just by the spoonful. Why not? I made butter. Today I want to show you how to make a caramel sauce, but a caramel sauce out of dates. So this is more like a date dip. You can do this with a food processor, a blender. So I'm using some pitted dates. Just gonna fill this thing up. Now you can make a simple version of this just by blending up the dates, adding a little bit of water. We're gonna do a little bit of flavor enhancers in here. So a little bit of vanilla, just with a tiny pinch of salt. A little bit of milk. I'm using an almond milk. And then blitz and blend. Now you may need to add a little bit more liquid. That's why I started off with a little bit. Dates are really thick, so you wanna make sure you have a powerful blender that can really get them nice and creamy. Keep moving it around. It even is starting to look caramely. I'm gonna add just a touch more liquid. Ooh, we're there, we're there. We are smooth, we are creamy. I have some apples here, there in a saltwater solution. So I'm gonna load up my apples, get our date mixture. Such a cool color. Perfect caramely color. It's a perfect dip for any date, right? There you go. Slice up your apples, make a delicious dip addition, great for snacking. And it gives you that apple and caramel flavor. And normally, if you're dipping apples in some caramel, you just kind of do a little dip, have a little bit of indulgence. This, you can do a big scoop. Homemade almond butter starts with unsalted raw almonds. I'm gonna roast these in the oven just to help them release their oils. Now let the almonds cool off. All it takes to make almond butter is a food processor or a blender. Add in your almonds. Now let it rip. It takes a little bit of time, but the almonds will naturally release their oils. If your almond butter needs help coming together, you can add a neutral oil, 1 tablespoon at a time. And that's it, ultra creamy homemade almond butter. Give your almond butter a taste. You may need to add a little bit of salt. You can sweeten it up with a little bit of honey or add some flavor with spices like cinnamon. Use the same method to make homemade peanut butter with shelled peanuts. There's about a half a cup of mayo in here. I've got a recipe. Here's how to make that famous spread at home. Call it what you want, fry sauce, Thousand Island, or even spread. Is that trademarked? That infamous burger sauce is just common ingredients. Couple squirts of ketchup. I love it when you don't need a recipe. Most versions of this recipe don't use mustard, but I like it. Just a little bit. I'm gonna combine a little vinegar and a little pickle juice. And a teaspoon of sugar. Relish or chopped up pickles. Add some pepper and taste it before adding salt. And when I'm feeling wild, I plus up the sauce with onion powder and paprika. Simple shake to combine. Oh, that looks perfect. Oh, now I get why they call it that. And this is all completely customizable. Adjust it and have it your way. Can I say that too? Oh my goodness. What's better than one condiment? All of them mixed together.